Welcome back, everybody. Time for Mike Phillip Fridays here on the Fire Your MD Now radio show. Call-in line is 844-374-5433. Once again, 844-374-5433. Now, before we get into anything, I want to talk just a little bit about this so-called terrorist attack in Ottawa. I'm a Canadian guy. Geographically, I'm probably closer to Mexico than Ottawa, but whatever. You know, it's all the same country, right? Now, this guy was not somebody that came to this country from Syria or Lebanon or Jordan or Saudi Arabia. He was a spoiled brat, born in Quebec as Michael Joseph Hall and raised in Laval, just north of Montreal. Lived a quiet childhood of private schools and suburban homes with a mother who was a high-ranking federal employee under the Minister of Immigration. Now, the word terrorism is being thrown around. Terrorism, terrorist attack. Well, the fact of the matter is this guy was a loser and he was a murderer. That's it. All right? Murder is already illegal in Canada. You can't run around killing people. We do not need new classifications for murderers. It's already illegal. And he got what he deserved. Now, I feel really bad about that, the young soldier. He was a father, I guess. But let me say this. How come we had two soldiers fully trained standing there guarding a war memorial outside the Parliament and they weren't allowed to have live ammunition in their rifles? If one of those guys had live ammunition, they could have put a stop to it before he ever got to the Parliament. We are so... I don't understand what is the big fear of guns in this country. A couple of armed citizens could have taken him out before he ever got there. Here in Canada, you're allowed to only have 5 centerfire cartridges in a magazine. And here in Alberta, where I live, in this part of Canada, I don't know a whole lot of people that don't have guns. Everybody's got them. But you just watch. I bet you any money, my bottom dollar, they're going to blame this on guns and try to bring in new restrictions. I bet you. Well, we're not scared of terrorists, okay? We're not. As a Canadian man, I'm not as scared of terrorists. I'm not scared of Ebola. And that's all I hear on the news lately. Ebola, terrorism. This guy wasn't a terrorist. He was a murderer and a loser. Didn't fit in anywhere. Figured he could find some kind of identity as becoming a Muslim, quote-unquote, terrorist. Well, you got what you got now, hey, pal? Unreal. I'd like to talk a little bit about freedom. That's enough. I don't want to talk about that anymore. I don't know if anybody wants to call in and say anything about it. Go ahead. But, unreal. Health Canada, as an agency where I live here, is a lot like the FDA. I mean, they're the same, but they're different. And Health Canada, you know, your average Health Canada flunky has more power than your average cop or RCMP on the street. They have so much power. They don't have to write warrants. They don't have to have a reason for anything that they do. They can just shut you down. And I found this story in Global News. Health Canada issues warning about Miracle Mineral Solution and seizes the product. Now, I don't find this article half as interesting as the comments, but we'll go ahead and get into that in a second here. Health Canada says anyone who bought a product called Miracle Mineral Solution should stop using it immediately. They won't tell you to stop using chemo. They won't tell you to stop using statin drugs. They won't stop you from using prescription painkillers that are killing people. The agency says the unauthorized product sold over the internet as a treatment for serious diseases such as cancer poses serious health risks if ingested. It says MMS contains sodium chloride, a chemical used mainly as a textile bleaching agent and a disinfectant. Health Canada says the product was sold through this website. They've got it bookmarked here. and that an alternate format of MMS labeled as CDS is also available for sale on the website and would pose a similar risk. Anyone who has used the product is advised to see a doctor and report health problems to Health Canada. The agency says it seized the product from the business, which Health Canada says has not complied after being told its product could not be sold under the Food and Drug Act. So, Health Canada's freaking out about this. But you go down to the comments, and that's what I find more interesting. Lisa Martian says, death by pharmaceutical drugs is right up there with cancer and heart disease. I opt to self-medicate and question everything, especially when issued by Health Canada. Now we go down further. Juanito Carita. I've used MMS successfully for 4 years now to keep healthy. No digestive problems, ideal weight, no flu or colds, and lots of energy. I also know friends who have used it for serious illnesses too. By the way, I have no financial interest in writing this, just a desire for the truth to be known and for government to stop telling us how we should look after our health. Health freedom is big, people. It's everything. I'm telling you, it is everything. If you cannot decide what you put in your own body, you are not free. You hear me? You're not free. If you cannot say what you want, if you can't use whatever treatments you want, you're not free. And what does that leave you? These same people that are appointed and delegated without any kind of electoral process or any kind of say on the behalf of the public, they just wave a wand and all of a sudden something's illegal because they say so. It smacks of cronyism, big time. Big time. Well, the pharmaceutical companies got deep pockets. Now I got a clip of Jonathan Emord, an American lawyer, talking about the greatest threat to health freedom in the United States, and we're all in this together. Let's play that clip right now.
What are the biggest threats as we sit here today, you think, to our health freedom right now?
The greatest threat to our freedom is really a microcosm. Health freedom is really a microcosm of the bigger picture of the threat to our freedom in general. We began this nation with the notion, expressed well in our Declaration of Independence, that just governments derive their basis for legitimacy on the consent of the governed, and that just governments are dedicated to the protection of our rights, our civil and economic rights. Indeed, that's the very purpose of government in the minds of the Founding Fathers, is to protect civil and individual rights. And we started off with a limited federal republic, and with doctrines and provisions in the Constitution that were well accepted to limit federal power. And federal power was viewed with grave suspicion because those in government were thought to be invariably subject to corruption, to use power for their own personal interest. And these magnificent provisions in the Constitution that limit power and prevent such things as delegation of governing power to the FDA, enabling the FDA to have legislative, executive, and judicial power, and to wield that power independent of Congress through an unelected FDA commissioner over the entire American public, dominating over a quarter of all goods and services in this country, which are health-related products. That type of thing was called tyranny in the founding of the Republic. James Madison said that if you co-locate any two of the following three powers, legislative, executive, and judicial, you will have the very definition of tyranny. It was against an absolute monarch possessed of those powers, who was unrepresentative of the American people, that caused an American Revolution. And so we have transformed the United States from a limited federal republic into an unlimited bureaucratic oligarchy, in which the very foundation of the country no longer exists. These entities do not operate based on the consent of the government. They are not our legislators, they're not our representatives, and yet they make 9/10 of all the law that govern us. So this is a direction, wayward course from the founding principles and Constitution, that leads to tyranny and is causing tyranny. That is why we stand in fear of all manner of federal agencies when we begin business. If you begin a business of any kind, your grave concern is that agents, inspectors, either deputized by the federal government from the states or coming directly from the federal government, will find something wrong with what you do, because there's such extraordinary discretion that they wield. And so you stand in trepidation of your government. That was not to be. The government was to be our servant. We weren't to fear government for doing those things which are necessary to sustain ourselves. Jefferson said, "A wise and frugal government shall restrain men from injuring one another, but shall leave them otherwise free to regulate their pursuits of industry and improvement." He described that as the sum of good government. And we're so far away from that. Our health freedom is being deprived in a manner that is similar to our freedoms in general. And the American people are increasingly becoming aware of this, and they are learning to respect again those foundational principles. We have to restore this republic in order for us to enjoy the full breadth of liberty that is our birthright. Otherwise, we will continue to watch as the government incrementally takes away all of our freedoms and presumes to dictate for us what is in our own best interest, rather than allowing us to make those decisions on our own.
So they've got the legislative, they've got the executive and the judiciary totally co-opted. And those separations of powers were put there in order to gridlock each other. Okay, now here in Canada, we do not have that. We don't. I mean, you're in Canada, when you see what your government does, it's all a big sham. It really is. We have what's called the Privy Council that actually has more power than our government. We have a representative of the Queen that is above our government handling the military. And they want to regulate your safety and what you can say and what kind of supplements you can take. This is Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We're going to come back to Chris in California and Cliff up in Fort McMurray after this. Welcome back. We are live. We're going to go straight over to Chris in California. I just want to say one thing first of all. Speaking of freedom, I have never, ever, ever once been told by Dr. Glidden what I can and cannot say on this show. I get people asking me, well, how come Youngevity won't let you talk about this? How come Dr. Glidden won't let you talk about that? You know what? I can talk about whatever I want. Fact. I don't work for Youngevity. Youngevity works for me. Deal with it. Chris in Delano, California. How you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
Well, I'm doing great. It's good to talk to you today. What's on your mind, my friend?
Yeah, it's good to talk to you, too. Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time and the phone call and all that. I really appreciate it.
It's what I'm here for, boss.
I recently started cutting out the 10 bad foods and, taking longevity products faithfully. And my grandfather recently had a run-in the hospital. He had a kidney failure and high blood pressure.
Ouch.
And of course, they did their tests and all that, and they came to the assumption that it was the 5 years of ibuprofen that caused kidneys to fail. And
yeah, ibuprofen is not good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, low doses, but people that take it all the time, you're setting yourself up for hardship in the future. Now, the fact is, both the fact that he's got high blood pressure and kidney failure points to the exact same thing, okay? And that is a massive calcium deficiency, and that's easy enough to get over. I've seen people get over high blood pressure really quickly, and same with kidney problems. I used to have kidney problems myself, and that cleared up in short order just following a few simple protocols that were suggested to me by Dr. Glidden. Now, how much does your was it your grandpa or your dad there, Chris?
My grandfather.
Okay, how much does he weigh?
He weighs about 140, 150 maybe.
150 pounds. Okay, so what I would do if I was you, Chris, is talk to him about the 10 bad food list, obviously, and I would get him on 2 healthy brain and heart packs. That's 2 healthy brain and heart packs to support and promote the healthy structure and function of his kidneys and his heart. I was talking to Dr. Wallach. Actually, I heard him talking to somebody else. And he said flat out he's never seen a kidney that cannot be kick-started again. Okay? 9 times out of 10, they're just plugged. That's it. So,
because right now they have them on dialysis right now.
yeah, I've heard of people getting off of dialysis as well using the products. Now, I mentioned to you the 2 healthy brain and heart packs, and I want you to add to that, Chris, 1 bottle of Ultimate Dailies. The Ultimate Dailies are like Roto-Rooters for your circulatory system, and they will clean out the little tiny arteries and veins inside the kidney as well. Now, I don't know how old your grandfather is, and I wish that we could have got to him a lot sooner, but I always think better late than never, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. How long you been going with Youngevity, Chris?
For about 2-3 months now.
2-3 months. What's it done for you, buddy?
Well, I feel good. I feel great, but I mean, I've always been pretty healthy. You know, I'm 22, so but I do like to be healthy, and you know, I don't want to suffer in the future.
Yeah, you're a smart guy. That's the way to do it. Chris, I really honestly wish there was more people like you, because it's really tough talking to people when they're 22, because they feel great and they don't think they need it. And well, if I get sick, I'll just run to the hospital. But by then, a lot of times it's too late, and the hospital is almost the worst place you can be. I mean, people walking out of the hospital or not walking out at all, due to staph infections, or, it's just crazy what's going on out there. But Chris,
it's like you said, sir, they're just sickness and disease managers,
They are, you're exactly right. Yeah, no, you're exactly right.
I think you said it on one of your videos before too. It's like, you can say, I'm going to die, and everyone dies, and let's just eat what we want, but it's either you're going to live longer or suffer, or live longer and be fine, not have to worry about medication and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not a matter of if you're going to die, it's a matter of how you're going to die.
Yeah.
Chris, I appreciate your call. Get your grandpa them 2 healthy brain and heart packs and the Ultimate Dailies, and I think that'll go a long way for him. I hear the music. We're going into a break here. And Cliff up in Fort McMurray wants to talk about fuel savings. And we're going to go to Bernadette in Georgia, Ruby in Santa Rosa, California, and David in Toronto. We'll be back after this. We're going to go over to Clifford up in Fort McMurray. Cliff, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, man?
Not too bad. Yourself?
I'm all right. What's on your mind today, buddy?
Oh, I just wanted to let everybody know we have a product named Extreme Fuel Treatment Product, and we've been saving 10 to 15% on fill-ups with all our fleets. Good for gas and diesel, and also excellent for 30 to 35% reduction on emissions, and improves engine life and reduces wear.
Well, that sounds really interesting. I'm interested in anything that'll save me a couple bucks here and there. And 10% on your fuel bill over the year, that actually adds up to quite a bit. So do you got a website or an email address you want to give out if anybody wants to contact you about this?
Yes, sir. They can reach me at wilsoncliff78@gmail.com.
wilsoncliff78@gmail.com. I might get a hold of you after the show. I might look into this myself.
Yeah, and my phone number is 587-987-3101.
All right, Cliff, thanks for the call. And if anybody's interested in saving some money on their fuel bill, give Cliff a call. See, we talk about anything on this show.
Thank you very much.
All right,
for your time,
Cliff.
sir.
Yeah, you betcha. Take care. We're going to let you go, and we're going to jump over to Bernadette in Georgia. Bernadette, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm great. I feel terrific all the time. What's on your mind?
I want to know, what can I do about my knees? They hurt really bad. I don't want to have surgery. It hurts to walk up and down the steps. And anything to help me with all the side effects of menopause.
Yeah, you got bad knees. Hey, that's terrible. I used to have bad knees myself. They would click every time I walked up and down the stairs, and they hurt. And my wife had knees, shoulders, ankles, everything was going on her, and that was the reason I started doing what I'm doing here, was to help her. But you can totally recover the health of your knees. Your body wants to fix those needs. It just needs some raw materials, and that's all there is to it. So Bernadette, how much do you weigh?
182.
182. Okay. Do you got a pen, Bernadette?
Yes, I do.
Okay, because I'm going to tell you a couple things to write down here. I want you to get yourself a Healthy Start Pack 2.0 liquid. Healthy Start Pack 2.0 liquid. All right?
Okay.
Now, on top of that, Bernadette, I would like you to get 2 bottles of Glucogel Plus liquid. 2 bottles of Glucogel Plus liquid. And that is going to go a long way to giving your connective tissue what it needs to rebuild itself. Also, in those 2 Healthy Start Packs 2.0 liquid, you're going to get 2 bottles of OsteoFX, and that's going to give your body the calcium it needs. Now, let me ask you this. Do you have any shellfish allergies?
No, I don't.
Excellent. So you won't have a problem with anything there. So also, Bernadette, if you can add this onto your order, I would also add to that 2 bottles of Fucoid Z. Fucoidin is absolutely phenomenal. It activates stem cells in your body, okay? And stem cells are very important to rebuilding and keeping things working. So if you can do that. Now, how'd you hear about the show, Bernadette?
There's someone I work with that recommended you.
Good. So you go back to her with this little list of products that I just gave you, and you tell her what I told you, and she'll help you order those up. And then she's going to also point you to the 10 bad food list, okay?
Okay. And can you
there's-
spell the
there's
last
10
one that you told me to get?
What's that?
Can you spell the last one that you told me to get?
Yeah, Fucoid Z is spelled Fucoid Z or Z.
Okay.
Fucoid Z, and that's the sea vegetable called fucoidin. And if you
Okay.
do those things, Bernadette, I bet my bottom dollar you'll be feeling better. Just give it some time. Give it 90 days and stay away
Okay.
from the foods that you're not supposed to eat. And I want you to call back the show and let everybody know how you're doing. All right, Bernadette?
I sure will.
Great. It was really nice talking to you. Thank you for your call. Do you have any more questions?
No, oh, the one on what can I do about all the side effects of menopause?
Oh, side effects of menopause. Okay, so menopause is treated like an illness in our modern medical age here. It is absolutely not. It's a time of life. It's natural and it's normal, and you don't have to go through hell with it. Now, a couple of the things that I already told you about that you're going to be getting, the OsteoFX, that's going to help out big time. But also, what you can do to support and promote the healthy structure and function of your hormones is to get in lots of cholesterol. Okay, so if you can eat as many eggs as possible, chicken with the skin, things like that, any source of cholesterol. I know doctors have always told you it's bad, but they're absolutely flat out wrong. It's really good for you. Your hormones are actually made of cholesterol, and you want them functioning properly. Also, if you can add to your order a product called HGH Youth Complex. That's HGH Youth Complex. It's a formulation of stacked amino acids, and if you take about 8 of those before you go to bed at night, that's going to go a long ways to helping you out with any issues with menopause as well. Does that sound good to you, Bernadette?
Yes, it does.
I hope you're ready, because you're going to feel so good you won't know what to do with yourself. You're going to be a brand new person.
Okay, I'm waiting on it.
Let us know how it's going, Bernadette. I look forward to hearing back from you. We're going to let you go. Thank you for your call. We're going to jump over to Dave in Toronto. How you doing, David?
Hello.
Hi, David. What's up today?
Oh, I just have a question about Dr. Glidden's book.
Okay.
Now, I don't see, so I tried to. I use a big screen and I magnify it a lot, and I tried to read it using the read out loud function under PDF.
Okay.
And all it does is come up and say, warning, blank page. And it does about 200 of those.
Okay. David, I don't know anything about that. I really honestly don't. I have a hard copy of the book, but I'll tell you what, hang on a second here. I'm going to write this down, what you're doing here, and I'm going to look into this and see if I can't get the information back to you sometime further on the show. If not, what you could do is call Dr. Glidden's 1-800 number, and his group there might be able to help you out with that. Otherwise, David, I don't know what to tell you.
I did that, and they didn't.
They didn't know either.
You know, the products are very good. My blood sugar went from, my A1C went from 10.1 in January. I started on the product in mid-March. And at the end of April, my A1C was 6.1. So it's been doing good stuff.
Rock and roll. That's great, Dave. Awesome. Awesome. Have you gotten any of your friends and family or neighbors turned on to the products as well?
Oh, a few. Yes, a few.
And they're seeing good results as well?
Oh yes. Oh yes. My sister is doing that, and some other folks, and they are seeing good results. Well, when you got a good product, what are you going to do?
You're going to get better.
Yeah.
There's no reason for anybody to be in bad health anymore. There's no reason for it.
No.
None at all.
Well, thanks. I sure would like to find out.
I'm going to see what I can do about that, David. I'm just not sure, but we'll look into it, and I'll see if I can drop some information later on in the show. If not, we'll, I can contact somebody else and see what they know about it. But
I don't know if I'll be able to get the whole show in, but at any rate, I know you're Mike at teamglidden.ca.
Yes, I am. So, yeah, you can get a hold of me there anytime.
Okay.
All right, Dave.
Okay.
You have a great day, sir. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. And with that, we're going to go over to Ruby in Santa Rosa. Ruby, how are you today?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. What's on your mind, Ruby? It's good to hear you.
Yeah, well, I've been on Youtevity, the #2 health packet. I mean, I got it all since, Monday was a week. So
okay.
It's been like 11 days, 10 days.
10 days, all right.
And I've been, in January of 2002, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay.
So I've been battling it for years and years. And I've been on everything, drug-wise. And methotrexate was like at the point where I said, I am not taking these drugs anymore.
Yeah, it gets to be too much after a while, doesn't it?
Well, the side effects and the fact that it's an oral chemo drug, and the flare-ups were unbelievable. My rheumatologist was a believer in prescription drugs. At one point I was told that, you're never going to be able to afford the drugs for your rheumatoid like, the big sports athlete can afford. So, you're going to get stuck with taking this. And he's like, and your liver's good enough. And I'm like, well, yeah, my liver's good because I don't take that stuff. So today I've lost 9 pounds. I am off of pretty much all my prescription drugs. When I started Youtevity, I was taking sulfasalazine, prednisone, and anti-inflammatory Vimovo.
And you've dropped them.
They wanted $542 for a month prescription of Vimovo.
Wow.
Because I'm in a different list now, according to my insurance. So, I stopped taking them all. I am 5 milligrams every other day of the prednisone because you can't just stop taking it.
Uh-huh.
And other than that, I mean, my flare-ups were always off the charts on a 1 to 10 scale, and today they're barely a 3. And it's just incredible. It's
Ruby,
incredible.
stay right there. Stay right there. I'm going to put you on hold. I want to ask you a few more questions on the other side. This is Mike Phillip talking to Ruby, who's smart enough to get her health back. Ruby's smarter than a rheumatologist. Are you smarter than a rheumatologist? Let's find out. 844-374-5433. Back after this. Welcome back. We're live. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. And I got to let you in on a little bit of inside baseball here. I actually talked to Ruby a while back because her sister, Laura, got a hold of me through the show. She emailed me after one of the Friday shows, and she's been getting some great health results. And so she got Ruby turned on to longevity. I spent a little bit of time on the phone with Ruby, and so it's really exciting to talk to Ruby now and hear about all these great things that are happening. So you lost 9 pounds in 10 days?
Yeah. Actually, less time than that, but yeah. And,
wow.
And I am doing the food list, and the bad food list, and I'm working on it. You know, it's not like it's overnight, so it's not like I've been just starving. I don't have a huge appetite because I don't know, the supplements are there or whatever. It's just everything is like I'm floating half the time because having, rheumatoid arthritis, when you get a flare up, they call it, it starts off like, oh, it's hurting. And in your mind, it's just going to get worse. It just gets worse and worse and worse, and that's like, well, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And since I've been on longevity and all my supplements and minerals, and it's like it stops at 3 on a scale from 1 to 10, where it would start at 3 before.
Right. That was just kind of the kind of a constant, hey?
Right now, no. I mean, there's hours when I'm pain free. So, I sleep a lot better. I mean, I'm sleeping. I'm taking my HGH at night, and I'm sleeping really sound. I haven't had a sound night's sleep in years.
Yeah, I hear that the same thing from just about everybody that gets on the program. Tell me this: when you started on the HGH, did you just get crazy off-the-wall dreams?
No, because I remember you telling me that I wasn't able to take 8 all at once right away. So now I'm 8 a night before bed. So I'm looking forward to the crazy off-the-wall dreams.
Well, they're entertaining, I'll tell you that. Like, I've never had a bad one when I'm on this stuff, but it's funny because my son told me that he dreamt that some girl came to his door and dropped off a baby. And, yeah. And it was so intense that he woke up looking for the baby. But that's the thing there. He's 22.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, and he's a really good-looking guy. The girls love him, and if he makes me a grandpa, I'm gonna whoop his ass. Ruby,
I'm sure.
Yeah, Ruby, that is so awesome. Are you and Lori looking at setting up any kind of meetings or getting the word out to people that way, or are you interested in that at all?
First of all, call her Laura, and second, we live about 2 hours apart.
Okay.
Yeah, I live in Santa Rosa, which is like north of San Francisco, and she's like up by the state capitol in Sacramento area. So, but yeah, we've been talking about it back and forth. I'm still not jumping outside. I live upstairs, so
Yeah.
in an apartment, and but it's before I would stay in the house 4 or 5 days in a row.
That's amazing. Well, now you can get out. Ruby, listen, I hear the music. I'm a slave to the
Okay.
clock here. I'm going to let you
right.
go because we're at a hard break, but thanks so much for the call. I appreciate it. After the news here, we're going to go over to Leah in Texas. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. Give us a call. Let's talk. We got an hour left. We'll be back after this. First, we're going to talk to Leah in Texas. Leah, you are live. How you doing?
Hello. Thank you for
Hi.
taking my call.
Absolutely, Leah. What's going on?
I'm hoping you can help me with a problem I have with just painful arms. I've had them more than a year.
Mm-hmm.
I finally went to a chiropractor, and they said that my neck looks like the sponges between the discs there are getting so thin and small, and that's probably what's causing my pain.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering if there's any hope for me, if I can heal those cushions and make them thicker so I don't get any more pain in the neck and arms.
Yeah, you know what? There's always hope, Leah. And I used to tell my wife that because she was running out of hope because we tried a bazillion different things and nothing seemed to work. But I always told her there is something out there. There's got to be something out there. And we found Dr. Glidden. And you know what? Some of the same things that you're describing were some of the same things that were happening to her. So, as far as that goes, yeah, there's hope for sure. Now, when it comes to connective tissue or anything in between the bones, say a joint, that can be, your body wants to fix that. It just needs some raw materials, and that is a fact. So, Leah, what I would do if I was you, have you got a pen?
Yes, I have.
All right, I would get myself, well, first of all, Leah, how much do you weigh?
140.
140. Okay. So if I was you, Leah, I would get a healthy bone. I'm not going to tell you to get a healthy bone and joint pack. We're going to break it up into a few different products. First of all, you're going to need a Healthy Start Pack Liquid 2.0. Healthy Start Pack Liquid 2.0. All right?
Okay.
Now, the second thing you're going to do is you're going to get yourself 2 bottles of Glucogel Plus Liquid. Glucogel Plus Liquid. And I don't know if you heard me talking to the earlier caller that had problems with her knees, but it's the same thing. Okay, it's the same thing. You just need to rebuild that connective tissue, and your body knows how to do that as long as it got what it needs to do it. Now, on top of that, Leah, I would like you to get 2 bottles of Ultimate Selenium. 2 bottles of Ultimate Selenium, all right?
Okay.
Now, how'd you hear about this show?
Well, I had just become a member of the longevity team under a fellow named Rhett in Georgia, and he told me about the show and said you should call and get some help right away.
Well, he's a smart guy, and you know what, Leah, how old are you?
68.
68? Okay. So, I've seen this work really fast for some people, and for others, I've seen it take a little bit of time. But if you go to Dr. Glidden's website, there's a list of 10 foods that you should avoid. Okay, so, and the reason we do that is because there are foods that are going to inhibit your ability to absorb these nutrients. And there are also foods that are going to cause inflammation. Okay, and you don't want that inflammation happening because that's going to cause you more pain. All right? So go to Dr. Glidden's website. That's drglidden.com. 2 D's in Glidden. drglidden.com. And if you register with the site, they'll send you a copy of the 10 bad food list. And your friend in Georgia there, he can tell you how to dose these products out once you get them. All right?
Right.
And I want you to really stay on this, okay? Leah, I want you to try it out and stay on it for 90 days. Give it 90 days.
Okay.
All right?
And I have one other question quickly. There's something that I think is bothering us in our house. It's almost like we sit or sleep in a certain place, and we just get horrible pains. And I don't know if it's some sort of electromagnetic something or other coming in that certain room, but I just have a feeling there's something that's really bothering both of us there. And we've tried to check out all of the electrical things and so forth. Do you know any way to, or anybody that comes to check out a house?
Well, okay, it's just that room?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. You know what? There are certain people that do have sensitivities to electromagnetic frequencies. Do you have a Wi-Fi signal in your house?
No, we don't have TV or Wi-Fi or
nothing,
microwave
hey?
or anything. No, I tried to make a healthy house.
But that one room,
Yeah.
maybe it's haunted. Maybe you need a priest.
No, I don't think it's that. I've checked that out. It's not that.
I don't know what to tell you. I think you're just going to have to sleep in other rooms.
Yeah. I thought maybe you knew of someone who could check that out. Well,
You're going to have to ask Professor Google.
Professor Google.
Yeah, you're going to have to Google it.
Oh, Google. Okay. All right. Well, I thank you very much.
All right, Leah, you try out what I said there, getting back in touch with your buddy in Georgia there, and I want this to work out for you. We're going to let you go. Thank you very much for the call, and quit sleeping in that haunted room, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, see you, Leah. We're going to jump over to Sydney in New Mexico, and then we're going to talk to my buddy Dave in the Thumb. Cindy, you are live. How you doing?
Not too good, sir.
Not too good.
I'm really down and out. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune several years ago, 2003. And they put me on some heavy-duty prednisone, and it brought on congestion, heart failure. Lord, my immune system too much. I got a viral infection. The heart, I healed it with some herbs and stuff. But now I got off the prednisone and for a couple of years now. But my muscles in my arms and my legs have been just to the point where I can't make it to the bathroom, or I need help to get in and out of bed, and it just was a really rough day this morning to get up. God, excuse me, I'm a little emotional. I don't want to lose hope completely. But I happened to run into you guys' web on the computer in the internet, and then I had heard Dr. With the W, what's his name?
Wallach, Dr. Wallach.
Wallach, he came out on Benny Hinn. So I don't think it was coincidental that because I've been trying to do some research on the computer. I just don't know what to do anymore. I just want to give up. And they want to put me back on the prednisone again, and this other medication that will cause cancer is a side effect.
Yep. Cindy, I can hear it in your voice. You're really hurting, aren't you?
Sorry.
Yeah. Don't apologize to me. Don't apologize to me. You know what, Cindy? You're the reason that we do this.
It's bad. It's so bad I feel like killing myself sometimes. I'm losing the hope. I don't want to live like this. Having to be dependent on just people, not even being able to make it to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I don't know where to turn.
Cindy, do you have family around that helps out?
My daughter helps me a lot. She's 18 years old. She's been dealing with me since she was 7 years old at my house. Since 2003. She's 18 now. I'm having a hard time with the insurances, getting the proper care at home with the home care provider. It's just rough all the way around. I just, having a hard time getting the proper hours for home care provider to come in. I'm having to fight the system and the doctors that are saying I'm being compliant. In December, I had to go to the hospital because I had the flu, and they put me in this isolated room. They didn't give me a washcloth to take the to wash myself because the paperwork said I was being compliant. I'm just getting like that treatment all the way around. And they're bringing me in because I'm not taking the prednisone and this other stuff, but I know what it did to me before.
Yep.
And I fought to be alive to be here with my daughter, to see her grow up.
You know what, Cindy? Let's see if we can get things on track here for you. Now, my group here in Camrose, just last night we watched a webinar on autoimmune diseases. Okay, and your body is not attacking itself; it's just trying to clear out dead tissue. Okay, and the doctors have no understanding on how these things actually work. Now, Cindy, would you please tell me how much you weigh?
About 135.
135 pounds? Okay.
I lost all my butt, my thighs. My arms are being affected now. To where,
Okay, Cindy, what we're going to do here is we're going to suggest you a few different products, okay, to support and promote the healthy structure and function of your immune system and the rest of your body all around. We don't just target certain things. This is a holistic approach. Cindy, you stay right there. Dave and the Thumb, you're listening. I know. You just hang on. We got to deal with Cindy for a bit here. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. This is breaking my heart. We'll be right back. And before the break, we were talking to Cindy in New Mexico, and she has been going to doctors for a long time. They've been putting her through the ringer. She hasn't been getting any better. And man, oh man, this is the kind of thing that, this is the reason that we do what we do, because there are so many out there like Cindy, just desperate looking for hope. And I'm going to try and dial this in for you the best I can, Cindy. Now, your body has a nutritional tank, okay? You need 90 essential vitamins, minerals, and amino and fatty acids every day. And when you don't have them, after a while, your body starts to break down. And we eat all the wrong foods in this society, and that contributes to the problem right there. So, we need to find a way to get those into your body. Is your daughter around? Is she listening, Cindy?
No, she's at school right now.
Okay, so this show loops over the weekend. So you can actually bring this same show up at any time over the weekend and listen to it with her so that she can help you with this. And do you have a pen?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to get involved here myself, too. I want you to write down my email address. It's mike@teamglidden.ca, and there's 2 D's in Glidden. That's Mike.
Okay, Mike.
At teamglidden.ca.
How do you spell that? Team?
Team, T-E-A-M.
T-E-A-M?
Yeah, Mike at teamglidden, D-D-E-N, G-L-I-D-D-E-N.
D-D-E-N, okay.
.ca.
T-A?
C-A.
C-A.
C as in cat, yeah.
Okay, and A, okay.
Yeah. Now, Cindy, I'm going to suggest that you try some things, okay? And you don't have to write them down now, because I want you to email me after the show, and I'm gonna put all this into the email for you, okay? And we'll stay in touch that way. But first of all, Cindy, I want you to stop eating anything with grain in it, okay? Any kind of wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Okay, wheat, barley, rye, and oats, they got to go right out of your house. Okay, Cindy?
All right.
They got to go. You're going to need a lot of protein. You're going to need cholesterol. Okay, I'm going to want you to eat as many eggs as you possibly can. Chicken.
Is that regular eggs, or does that have to be omega-3 or regular?
No, just good old chicken egg. Any kind of egg you can afford, any kind of eggs you can get. Okay?
All right. How many eggs?
About 8 to 10 a day if you can get them in, Cindy. And there's a way that I want you to do it. I want you to eat those eggs so that the yolk is soft. All right? You have to have that yolk soft because the cholesterol degrades once that yolk hardens up. All right? Now I want you to put lots of salt on your food. Lots of salt, Cindy. Okay? Salt is very good for you. That's another thing doctors have gotten completely wrong over the years. Now, Cindy, you're 135 pounds, right?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to get you on a healthy brain and heart pack. That's one healthy brain and heart pack, and we're going to add into that some extra selenium. All right? Now, on top of that, I'm gonna suggest that you get a product called Z Radical. That's Z Radical.
Z Radical.
Z Radical, and the active ingredient in there is called fucoidan. I was talking to another caller about that earlier. And fucoidan is just dynamite awesome for your body, okay? It stimulates the production and the use of stem cells. All right? Now, we got to get your small intestine so that it's healed up, and we don't want your immune system freaking out. Okay? Because that's what's happening here. Autoimmune diseases. I've seen people recover from all kinds of autoimmune diseases. And there's so many diseases that doctors will lump into the autoimmune category because they don't know how to deal with them, and they don't understand how they start, and they don't understand how to stop them. But the body's functioning properly. You just need some raw materials. I hear the music. Cindy, stay right there. We're going to come back to you, and then we're going to go over to Dave and the Thumb. We'll be right back after this. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We're talking to Cindy in New Mexico. Cindy, what kind of foods do you normally eat?
Salad, some meat, fruit, yogurt.
So fairly healthy, hey?
I try to eat healthy, as best as I can know how. I do have fried eggs every so often.
Yeah. Okay, so this is going to take longer than a 10-minute conversation on this show. So, like I said, I want you to. Do you have internet access, Cindy?
Internet, yes. That's where I seen your program.
Okay, good. So, Cindy, I want you to write this down. The drgliddenshow.tv. The drgliddenshow.tv. All right. Now, if you go there every other day during the week, this radio show is hosted by Dr. Peter Glidden. And if you go to that web address, they'll ask you to register. You put in your name and your email address and submit that, and then go to your inbox, and they're going to send you a link. And when you go there, you're going to be able to watch Dr. Glidden while he's doing the show, and there's a chat room in the back, okay? There's a chat room where you're going to be able to talk to all kinds of really great people talking about Jack Bolton, Nancy G, Matt Tokoff, people like that. And they're just like me. We are all learning from Dr. Glidden. I'm pretty good at using this product, but I am not him. I'll tell you that right now. He's really good. And if you can send me an email, I'm going to work with you, and we'll talk with your daughter as well so that she knows how to help you out with this stuff, because there's a way that you're going to have to take it. And get a hold of me after the show, and let's see what we can do. So they just want to give you more and more drugs, hey?
Yes, more prednisone, and this other one which starts with an M, and the side effect is cancer. And I'm being mistreated by my own primary doctor because he's been very mean and rude.
Yeah, you know what? You're not the only one, Cindy. You're not the only one. Everybody's being mistreated by their doctor. Even if, your doctor's mean and being rude, But even if your doctor's being nice to you and was giving you the same treatment, you'd be no better off, right?
No, because I almost had a fraction of 30 to 40% on the heart.
Yep.
I mean, not 30 to 40, 10 to 15% was a fraction a couple of years back. And so and then when I went into the doctor to tell him that the prednisone that I wanted to get off of that stuff, he said, well, Cindy, everybody has to die, he said. And
he told you that?
Yes. And
you know what? He ought to be in jail. This guy ought to be in jail.
I told him, yeah, but I'm not volunteering to be first in the line. I told him I have my 7-year-old daughter to raise. I told him.
Yeah.
I got very angry. I told him, you go home to your kids and your family. I go, but I could have died taking this stuff, I told him.
Wow.
And when he seen the effect it had on me, he was running around, trying to taper it down, the prednisone. Because he had me like on 90 and then close to 100 milligrams for 8 months. And it really, did a number on me.
Yep. Cindy, we went.
His response to me.
Everybody's got to die, hey?
That was his response. Well, Cindy, everybody has to die, because I told him the prednisone could have killed me. I felt that that's what had done it.
Yep.
And then
Unreal.
I was running a home daycare, and so I was catching every single virus, every single thing the children are bringing in.
Yeah, because
I didn't have an immune system to fight.
Yep.
It lowered my immune system so much.
Well, and a lot of times they'll that's what they do for an autoimmune what they class as an autoimmune disorder. They will intentionally destroy your immune system. That's the only way they know how to deal with it. And man, oh man, the name of this show is Fire Your MD Now. And if anybody out there listening, I don't even know what to say. I mean, this is just crazy. I don't know how we allowed things to get to this point, but you know what, Cindy? I think you're in the right place. And there's a whole lot of really caring people. You go to that, the Dr. Glidden Show.tv, and you're going to meet all kinds of people that have overcome some crazy illnesses just like you. And I talk to people every single day that were almost in the same boat as you. I've got a couple of ladies that I've been dealing with over in Michigan and another state. And it was the same thing. They could hardly get out of bed. They were crying to me on the phone. And now they're able to get up and do things. The one lady couldn't wash her dishes. She couldn't walk her dog. And I hear this all the time, Cindy. I've never heard anybody tell me their doctor being so blatant as to tell them, well, everybody's got to die. Like, that is so callous and cold.
God's my witness, yes.
Yeah, but at the same time, Cindy, he doesn't know what he's doing, and he's treating probably more people like you, and he watches his treatments fail year by year, every single day, every single week, every month, every year, and he's probably given up himself.
Everyone around me was in wheelchairs when I walked in there, but I trusted doctors. I didn't know not to trust them. I was healthy, and then all of a sudden I couldn't climb upstairs, and I was falling, and I trusted them. But after I got that congestive heart failure and I almost died, I had a distrust towards them, and I refused to take the medication, and yet I get such a hard time from them.
Cindy, I want you to have hope, okay? Now, you got my email address? Mike at teamglidden.ca.
CA, yes, sir.
Yep. Okay, Glidden.
I will.
Yeah, Glidden is spelled Glidden. All right? You send me an email, and I'm going to talk to you after the show, Cindy, all right?
Thank you, sir.
Cindy, we're going to let you go. God bless you. We're going to jump over to Dave and the Thumb. How you doing, Dave?
Hey, Mike, what a heartbreaking story that was, huh?
Dave,
Yeah, You almost had me crying over here, brother.
I was fighting back tears too, Dave. I don't mind telling you.
Hey, you know what? I'm doing great though, and I love you, and I love your show, and I just love the great work that you're doing, and I just want to let you know I got your back. I just learned from Dr. G the other day on his show. He said he just learned from Dr. Wallach that the liquid glucogel plus is more for maintenance, and the caps are for rebuilding. And I myself learned that recently. I ran out. I normally take both liquid and caps, so I don't take as many glucogel capsules as I should for my body weight because I thought it was compensating with the liquid. Well, I fell a couple years ago, and I had a great recovery, but I was on all caps. And then I started using the liquid, and I was probably drinking more coffee than I should have. I just recently ran out of liquid glucogel, and I'd been having some new pain in my foot that it was all gone, and it kind of came back, and I was very stumped. And then I heard, Doc Glidden say that about the liquid and the capsules. Well, when I ran out of the liquid, I started taking the caps again for like 3 days for my body weight, and I didn't drink coffee for 2 days, and the pain is almost completely gone again out of my foot. So I believe there is something there.
Yeah, I actually heard him say that too. A lot of times I end up going from experience, and I ended up having better experience. And with me, it was for Jennifer, right? Because right. I didn't have the same problems, but things went just dynamite fast when we switched to the liquid. So,
really?
Yeah, that was our experience. But, and also I find it's just a lot easier for people to put a couple of ounces in the liquid in with their drink than take that handful of capsules. Right. But at the same time, if you want to get better, you'll do what you're told, right?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, because at 200 pounds, 20 capsules, when you take it the way you're supposed to take one for 10 pounds of body weight.
Yep.
I mean, for me, it's no problem. I can swallow 6 Ultimate Dailies at one time. So swallowing 10 glucogels isn't a problem at all. But I do hear what you're saying. I'm probably taking 45 capsules a day of different longevity products.
Yeah.
Twice a day, actually. So, yeah, it can be a little daunting, but you know what? You got to do what you got to do, right?
That's right. Yeah. So, yeah, no, the other thing too, what we found also, we had a couple of ladies here on the glucogel caps, and they found that it was giving them really bad gas. And for a woman, like, guys don't care, right?
Yeah, right.
Right, but women, they're like, that's seriously embarrassing for them. So, she didn't get the same thing from the liquid, and so that was another reason we stuck with it. And we're creatures of habit, and I get used to telling people, yeah, use the liquid.
Right.
But no, I did hear Dr. Glidden say that. So maybe it would be good for a person to start out with the caps, and if they're not getting the results, switch to liquid. That's the other thing too. Everybody's different, so you got to you have to kind of tailor it to like what you found with the capsules working better than the liquid, right?
Right.
And that was a different experience from ours. But you know what? My wife actually quit taking the glucogel altogether. Like, there's a full bottle of it sitting in our cupboard that's been there for about 3 months. And for maintenance, all she does is the Healthy Start pack, and the pain hasn't come back in about a year.
Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It is, yeah. So how...
Food too.
Hey?
It might be the diet, it's a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah, you're totally right, man. How's your longevity business doing? Are you talking to lots of people?
Oh, man, yeah, we are kind of on fire. I am an SEMD now, being legally blind, and I'm on my way to vice presidential, and My wife is getting ready to jump to the SCMD level, and yeah, we're excited, and we're just trying to help people, and that the business then comes along.
You
with
got
it.
your car bonus?
I haven't got that yet. I got a few of my 12 kind of stopped buying, but I'm working on that.
That happens. Dave, I hear the music. We got to go to a break here. Do you got any more things you want to talk about?
Just remember the peppermint oil for the gas.
You got it, Dave. Thanks for the call. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We're going to come back to Dan in Tempe, Arizona after this. We're back live on Fire Your MD Now Radio. This has been quite the show, I got to say. Some of these calls. Wow. Let's go over to Dan in Tempe, Arizona. How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Well, I'm doing all right. I'm still kind of reeling from that call from Cindy. It always amazes me just what's going on with the medical system here and how bad it's hurting people. But that's why we're here. So, Dan, what would you like to talk about today?
I also have some questions about the glucogel.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and
it's glucogel day.
Yeah, I got the caps, by the way. Really bad knee. I was just wondering, how much should I start with, and then do I tone it back down till I get to the point that I'm only taking like a maintenance? I take it that's what the directions on the bottle are, is the maintenance dosage.
Yeah. So here's how it works, Dan. How much do you weigh?
190.
190? Okay, so you're going to be taking 19 of those per day. Okay. 19 of them. Because how it goes is you take one cap per 10 pounds of body weight. Okay?
Okay.
And how you're going to know when to cut back to a maintenance dose is when it feels better. And it's really that simple. And I don't know if you probably heard me talking to Dave there. My wife, it was so terrible, the pain that she was in. And, we completely got her out of it. And I'm talking her shoulders, her ankles, her knees, hips, back, neck, everything. She would cry herself to sleep at night. And the jerk doctors had the audacity to tell her that she was lying to get drugs. There's nothing wrong with you. You're lying. And I wanted to bust them one, but, you can't do that, right? Because then she'd be in pain and I'd be in jail. That wouldn't help. So, but, she within, it was about a year and she was free of pain. And I'll tell you what, it seems like a lot at first, but once you're out of the woods, you're out of the woods. And like I said, now we've had a bottle of glucogel, the liquid, sitting in the cupboard for about 3 months. She hasn't even touched it. So she doesn't even take a maintenance dose of that anymore. And the pain hasn't come back at all. So, it's, how old are you?
I'm 60.
60? Okay, yeah, so that's not bad. I mean, I find the older a person gets, the harder time they have getting back. But I've seen it work for lots of people in your age category. And you got a bad knee. So what, did that just develop over time, or was it a mechanical thing? You get in an accident or something?
No, it's just been developing over time. It didn't come overnight.
Yeah.
I worked hard to get it this way.
You earned it. Yeah. What do you do for a living?
Sports and stuff,
Oh, sports. Yeah. That was the same thing with Jennifer. She was, she coached basketball and played it. So, and she was a real go-getter. So, yeah, same thing. Sports. Hey, sports just wreck people. If they're not nutrified. They really do. I mean, it's good for you to be part of a team and get out and do something. But at the same time, if you're not replacing what you're losing, well, you end up with bone and joint problems. So, yeah, so how did you just get your stuff?
Yeah, I just got it. So do you think it'll take maybe like a year, or how long before you start noticing an improvement?
You know what? If my name was Jesus Christ, I could probably tell you, but I'm the furthest thing from it. So the only person knows that is God. And I just can't say, your body is different from mine and everybody else's. So, it's just a matter of, getting it in there and seeing what happens, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, hopefully it works fast for you. Is it like the kind of thing where you're unable to work, or is it just like a real, it's just a pain?
It's just a pain to walk on it for any length of time.
Yeah.
And it starts to hurt pretty good.
All right, Dan, 19 glucogel caps a day. Let us know how it's going. I hear the music. We're going to have to let you go. Mike Phillip filling in once again for Dr. Peter Glidden. I had a really great time hosting the show. Thanks to everybody for all your calls. And Dr. Glidden will be back on Monday. Take care.